colleagues, you will recall that on our last hearing of this matter, which has to do with the disbursement of a sum, allegedly a cumulative sum of $231 million and $4 and 18.2 billion naira to distribution companies for the purpose of enhancing the transmission distribution interface. At the last hearing, we had the Transmission Company of Nigeria MD, as well as the representative of the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, who came to make submissions on this very important subject matter. And as a result of those submissions, the committee resolved that we should have the Central Bank of Nigeria, the distribution companies, as well as the NEC and the TCN also come to make their submissions. This morning we also, or rather yesterday, we got a letter from the Transmission Company of Nigeria and the NEC that they were attending an electricity summit, I think in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, if I'm right. And so, some in Kigali. Okay, and so they asked that we should kindly reschedule their appearance onto a later date. But we have the CBN here with us, and I'll ask the Secretariat to please place Mr. Sahad on oath, and any other person that will be making a presentation this morning. If you think there's any other person you may be inviting to say one or two things about this matter, please, the person can as well take the oath form now so that we can take the administration of oath together at the same time. It's a standard procedure in every investigative hearing of the House of Representatives. Thank you. On this very important transaction, you can please ask your questions. Honorable Midi Oshoba.
Thank you, the representative of the CBN governor. Yes, you just give us a breakdown. I want some clarifications. The discos were going to be improved through infrastructure. Contractors were given funds. Funds were distributed to contractors on behalf of the discos. Now, the clarification I need is this. Those contractors, who nominated the contractors, who verified that the contractors had capacity to undertake these infrastructural projects. And now you have the third column where you said the interest expected to have been paid. Have all these interests been paid? Who has paid the interest? All these details, we need further clarification on them. Thank you.
Okay, should we take the questions together or the answer one after the other? Together? Okay, then let's take three at a go. So you can please note that, then Honorable. So we'll just take three and then you can answer. We'll take another set of three. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to point out some things here. This money from CBN, we should all understand they are taxpayers' money. They are money meant for Nigerians and taxpayers. So that is why it is. We are trying to look at it. And the purpose of it is to benefit Nigerians. However, the structure of the loan too should be very important to us. Now, the facility obligo, we need to define it. Is it the discos or the TCN? The contractors, who nominated them, and who are they responsible to? Because you disburse straight to contractors. Who are they working for? Are they working for TCN or the discos? Now, where I want to end it is that now these two people are not the one paying the loan back. Or the discos are not the one paying the loan back. The contractors are not the one paying the loan back. So the person enjoying the loan or who took the loan is not the one paying the loan back. You've not actually, with your presentation, you have not said to us how the loan is being repaid back. The source of the payment, we don't know. The level of which they have paid, we don't know. Because to what I understand is that the TCN that are paying this loan back, they are not in total control of the implementation of this loan. So who holds the contractor responsible for what they are doing? Because this course will tell you they are not working for us, they are working for TCN. The TCN will tell you we don't know the contractors, it is CBN that pays them. Our money is just being deducted. In fact, we don't know how much they deduct because you, CBN, deduct the money at source. All their revenue comes to you, you just take whatever you want from their account. They don't know it because we had interaction with them. They said they don't know how you deduct their money, how much you deduct, they don't know. So all this thing in the facility has to be spelled out. If it's amortized, I saw your amortization. Where is the amortization table with which you are using deducting their money? How will you be deducting somebody's money and doesn't know how much you deduct for a loan that you took on their behalf? So the structure to me is not straightforward. So you need to tell us, let us understand this structure very well. Many of us are into this system before. In terms of big ticket transactions, we've handled it. This is badly handled.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you.
Any other person? Yes, no, sir.
Mr. Chair, from the presentation, if we go to the second paragraph of the presentation, ceteris paribus, interest element of 12 months, totaling 5.4 billion, effective from the date of disbursement, ought to have been paid, settled based on the review of amortization schedule. However, that is their own present. However,
now, this is our own summary of their presentation.
Exactly, that is what I'm taking.
Oh, okay, sir.
What happened?
Honorable members here seated, good morning once again. My name is Abdulrazak Tijani. Like I said earlier, heading Development Infrastructure Finance Office that deals with this issue we're talking about today. Permit me, Mr. Chairman, to give a brief background. I want to start from the last speaker. Give a background of the perception of this whole, maybe to give us a leeway in understanding what we're going to say further. This whole idea was nurtured during the last administration of President Muhammad Buhari in July 2020, to be precise. I read a brief. The President Buhari constituted power sector working group.
CBN, please. I don't want us to. You know, this is not the first sitting.
Okay, all right.
So we have gone beyond all this.
Okay, all right,
we all knew how it started.
Okay.
We knew whatever happened.
Okay.
Just
okay.
Yes, please.
Taking from the first question, who verified the contractors and awarded the contracts? This was done by the TCN and the DISCOs with the go-ahead of the working committee, which I was about to read, like Mr. Chairman said, you have had that already. They did the whole contract bidding and contract work squarely. The committee between TCN, called the project management unit, and the various DISCOs are the ones that handle everything about that. Interest paid by TCN from invoice, yes. Interest is being paid because normally, and by every accounting standard, like my brother member has just read out here, interest are to be paid from inception. Any loan, we all know how it's been done. Once any bank gives you a loan as part of solution, interest start running from the day of disbursement. However, some months we had an issue, and what was the issue? When this loan was given out, it was conceptualized to be given or backed by special FX intervention. That was the conception initially, to give a special FX intervention. Unfortunately, the situation we now found ourselves later part of the year, FX started becoming an issue, which we all know to all sectors of the economy, not only the power sector. CBN could not afford that FX. TCN now say, okay, fine, we've approved, we've gone far, we've started disbursing, but we don't have FX that you've promised. What do we do? In that case, put a lien on this account until we resolve this issue around the FX. That was what brought about those months from June to October you saw, sir, that there was no interest. Lien was put on the amount. We said, okay, what way forward? Sir, permit me to say specifically here that CBN has no hand in any dealing in this transaction. We are just fund providers. NERC, National Regulatory Commission, is the sole regulator of the whole industry. Even one kobo to be paid from CBN, we must get an approval from NEC. They is, okay, pay A, pay B, or do this before we act. We listen to them. When we stopped the interest, we came to a roundtable. We were invited as an observer. What was the issue? That we should redenominate the FX into Naira. Since CBN can no longer provide FX, each contractor should go and source out their own dollar so that they can continue with the contracts. NEC gave them the approval. TCN sat with the discourse, and even the contractors, series of meetings were held. Series of meetings were held between those periods. And the final result, okay, let them redominate back into Naira. It was redominated, NEC approved and sent to us. And of course, in every domination, there has to be either an upper band or lower band. Currency must go, must gain or lose. And that's what we saw, the 1.2 billion that was returned back to CBN from balances of what was remaining from the redenomination of the Naira and the effect into Naira. And we now said, okay, fine, by October, we're giving 1 month. This was done around August or so, September. We said, okay, fine. By that 1 month leeway, if this is done, NEC has proved, and we remove the lien, interest will start running. And all parties agreed. Because at that point, it was agreed that each contractor should go and source for his or her dollar. And this was done, and by October, it was November, interest started accruing, and it became a problem to the bank. The banks now started saying they cannot get FX again. But the contractor said, okay, fine, they can no longer get. But of course, like I said, we are observers. We have already disbursed the money. We are not to interfere or meddle in whatever transpires again. So as at this point, that what took us where we are now, that they still cannot get FX, but that's solely between the bank and the awardees of the contract. That answers that question, sir. Then paying the loan. Yes, obligor, we say is the DISCO, but ultimately is the TCN. But because a federal government entity cannot be an obligor to a federal government entity.
Can you come again, please, on that? Who is the obligor in this transaction?
In the DISCOs.
But you said ultimately.
No, I'm just explaining why the DISCOs are. But the DISCO is the obligor.
Okay.
Let me not go further. The DISCO is the obligor.
No, now, you can go further. You can shed more light on it.
Okay, in shedding more light, like I said, it's actually the whole transfer is owned by TCN. Because this whole thing was controversial because the DISCOs want to improve their power at the takeoff of this service-based tariff going towards the cost-reflective tariff. And they now said, okay, fine, they need the structures to be well-grounded. TCN said, okay, fine, they're going to get a fund to make sure their network is okay. That's how it is called. But how do they pay the money? At every month, there are collections the DISCO make from the beneficiaries of this power. When they pay collection, there are certain amount of money, the way it's being shared, or who are entitled to these collections, past collections. For CBN, it's repayments. TCN, FIRS, VAT, and Co., they are all entitled to repayment at every month after collection. So now, these costs will pay, but they will net it off from the invoice or monies that are meant to be paid to CCN. Assuming they are supposed to pay TCN by a month and 1 Naira, and they repay this loan to CBN 20 kobo. So they will deduct 20 kobo from the 1 Naira due to TCN and give TCN the balance. That is how the payment structure was done.
So you are painting it as if it is the DISCOs that are paying the loan, but through this TCN. That is your explanation.
TCN through the DISCO. Sorry, sir, TCN through the DISCOs.
But what you have failed to understand is that whatever DISCO is paying to TCN is a revenue. So it is not the obligor that is paying now, because ultimately they are supposed to be paying TCN certain revenue. It is that from revenue now you are not deducting. So ultimately it is TCN that you are deducting their revenue from. So it is them that is paying, not the DISCOs. Maybe you don't understand me. I understand it perfectly well. The issue is that naturally, this goes pay revenue to TCN. Either you give them loan or you don't give them loan. They pay revenue to this. It is from that revenue you are taking off that you are deducting that money from. So it is Nigeria that is still paying back the loan, not the discos. That's what you should understand. It is Nigeria. That revenue is supposed to go to us. But you are deducting that money from that TCN. So who is the beneficiary of this loan that TCN is paying back that loan from? Maybe you don't understand me. Get it very clear. The obligor is the discos. The discos are the ones that are going to enjoy the facility. But TCN, they are paying back the loan. Through the revenue they are supposed to be getting from these people have an issue. Don't either loan or don't loan, they pay it. But from that loan now, from that revenue now, you are deducting the money that they are enjoying.
Maybe to also make it more maybe clearer, what kind of document or authority was given to you by the TCN to legally enable this deduction of loan? Deduction of the loan from TCN revenue. What is that document? What is the contract that exists between you and the TCN?
And like which you quite explained, that is the payment structure. Ultimately, these assets are owned by TCN. They are the major beneficiary. They own all these assets being procured with this money. The discos equally enjoy higher collection revenue from the infrastructural elevation provided by the TCN.
Will enjoy, you mean?
Sir?
Will enjoy.
Okay, all of us will enjoy.
Don't say they enjoy it. They will enjoy it because the infrastructure is not yet in place.
Yes.
So you are talking with the expectation of performance of the contract.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They get more power from the structures being put in place.
They will get more.
They will get more, sir.
Or are you affirming that the contracts are delivered and so they are earning the benefits of those?
No, we're saying the same thing, sir. They will earn more.
Oh, okay.
They will earn more. It's assumed that they're going to earn more from the provision of this infrastructure. That is, so ultimately they are the beneficiaries.
So, yes, sir, please, you asked the question, sir. I just asked him now, what was the document provided by the TCN to CBN to have them establish that privity of contract?
We have, ideally, for the payment, there's what is called investment agreement between the discos and the TCN.
Investment?
Agreement.
Agreement.
Between the discos and the TCN.
Did you say verbal or investment?
Investments. Investment agreements between the discos and the TCN. They have those documents.
Between the
discos and the TCN, sir.
Okay, so so was that what was presented to the CBN? Was that the agreement presented to the CBN that enables you to take back the loan from the revenue of the TCN?
Yes, that document aside, and there's also some which we submitted, of course, revenue administration agreement between NESI, that's the SPV, NERC transmission company, and the discos and TCN. So we
so who is NESI Stabilization Strategy Limited?
NESI is the SPV set up by the federal government. They are the special vehicle purpose that manage these funds on behalf of federal government through CBN. Like I said, we don't
manage the funds you disbursed?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, are they like an agency of the CBN?
Sir?
They are an agency of the CBN?
Yes, yes.
The Next Stabilization Strategy Limited is an agency of the CBN?
It's an NESI and SPV there, but they are being managed by Meristem.
It's a limited liability company?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it owned by the CBN?
CBN, of course, sir.
Okay, Honorable.
Set up by federal government, owned by CBN.
100%.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, sir.
Would there have been a problem if these funds were released to TCN and TCN further distributes to the discos? Would there have been a problem with that?
Come again, sir, sorry.
Would there have been a problem if these loans were given to TCN to further be redistributed to the discos than the way you did it?
Do you understand that?
I do properly, sir.
Okay.
Like we said before, TCN is an agency of government too. And certainly, because like I said, the way we manage these funds, we have an SPV set up. So they manage all these funds. And these funds ultimately are going to be enjoyed by the disco. But however, if they were given to TCN, maybe it would have been a different arrangement entirely. It will still be the same issue because for as far as we are, or let me say me, at this point in time concerned, all the issue we're having now is the FX issue. If there had been FX issue, there wouldn't have been this issue completely. If FX was provided, there wouldn't have been this issue completely. So FX, Forex.
There are many issues. There are many issues under investigation.
Yes.
The FX issue will only affect the issue of the performance of the loan in terms of meeting the need of purchasing the infrastructure and fixing them. That's a different thing entirely. The issue that we have beamed searchlight on in the last few minutes has to do with why the TCN should be responsible for the repayment of a loan granted to private entities. In this case, the discos. You understand the point? So when you're talking about Forex issue, we are still coming to that. Because for a disbursement that has been done as early as August of 2022, and as you speak, most of the contractors cannot even access the funds through their banks. And the contract that is supposed to be delivered in 2024 is less than 10% performed. In almost all cases, less than 10% performed in almost all instances. So that's another matter, and that may not really, have much to do with you, because like you said, your own is to, give out the loan. But we are particular about the process of the giving out of the loan itself, and the implication. Okay, probably.
You see the failure. Sorry, sir. I'm talking from experience. You see, the failure of any project starts from the packaging from the bank. Chairman, listen to me, sir. Sorry. The failure of any project starts from the packaging and structural packaging of that loan from the bank. You can package the loan, and when it's only packaged, it will fail. Let me tell you, sir, on this one. Who controls the contractor? Now, the TISCOs are the one that you say you give money to, or that is the obligor. However, the ultimate beneficiary, like you said, is TCN. Meanwhile, TCN doesn't know. They can claim that they don't know who you disburse money to. So nobody controls the contractor. How do you expect them to perform?
The TCN know who we give money, sir. Ultimately, the PMO, they do, sir. They do. They do. I wish we're all here together. The project management units coordinate all these activities. Project of TCN, project management unit.
Yes, there's a project management unit which they confirmed existed, but that it was the DISCOs that nominated the contractors and handled the procurement processes. That was the submission of TCN, that the procurement process was handled by the distribution companies themselves. Yes, Honorable, please.
Mr. Chairman, sir, from your questions, the answering that you gave now, you told us that they couldn't assess and pay money when the FX became an issue. But about 7 of these companies were giving money since last year. How much have they paid up until the time they started having issues with the FX? How much have they returned in terms of loan payment? Thank you.
Sir, they have 2 years moratorium. Yes, sir.
Yes, please, just a moment. I'm coming, please. Honorable Kiosi, are you satisfied? Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, Dr. Osawaru.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I remain Chief Dr. Billy Osawaru. I represent the good people of Oriomo Nwode Federal Constituency. I'm from Edo State. Mr. Chair, first of all, I would like to know the Benin Electricity Distribution Company interest element which is expected to have been paid. You said nil. Can you shed more light on that? And because I see others have some numbers attached to them, and it looks like there are 2 of them like that. And secondly,
no, but I think they gave them their own facility in May.
Okay, in May. Okay.
Yes.
So they don't know what is expected as an interest yet. Okay. Okay. So Okay, can we go to, yes. According to you, you said the SPV manages the funds, correct? Yes. Okay. So would you say, listening to what my colleagues have been saying, using this SPV, is that a way of CBN taking itself away from this as a blame? Because when you say the SPV is managing the funds, what are they doing differently that TCN cannot do? Then secondly, the discos are supposed to be the obligo. But you said the TCN, they actually get the discos to make a payment on their behalf. So when you have a loan and you are paying back a loan, they're supposed to be the principal and the interest. So when they are paying this money back to CBN, are they paying both the principal and interest?
Yeah, they've just started paying back the interest, actually. I think the principal is not due yet.
Is that the moratorium you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So paying this interest, did you do that just as a matter of taking the money at source? Was that the primary reason behind that? Why did discos have to bypass TCN to pay directly to the CBN? What was the rationale behind that, sir?
Thank you, sir. Like I've mentioned earlier, the rationale behind is that a federal government entity cannot be an obligor to another federal government entity. That was why ultimately TCN cannot, in this case, get access to direct funding from us, or rather collateralize or whatever on this loan.
So then TCN was a guarantor to the discos?
The guarantor to the disco is the collections, which we already had in place with the discos.
No. You didn't get it. It's not talking about the collateral. It's talking about the guarantor. The person who stands as a surety, as it were, as a guarantor for the loan. Is it a TCN?
TCN, because they own the assets being purchased.
So it's not even the NEC. It was the TCN that stood as the guarantor.
Yes.
Why they are not bothered about the guarantor? Because the revenue of TCN goes to them. They have control of
Yes, that's why he said they made the TCN the guarantor. That's exactly what he has said. That they made the TCN the guarantor. Just a moment, please. Yes, Honorable. You can take notes. You can take note of those questions or issues
Thank you,
you
Chairman.
want to shed light on, so that as each member asks, you can use that opportunity to speak to those issues, please.
Yes, I want to ask a question about the redomination you said you did. Now, first of all, no contractor has gotten any disbursement in foreign exchange, right? To date, nobody has.
Sorry, sir?
No contractor has gotten any loan in foreign exchange.
None of the contractors have accessed the loan in forex.
Exchange.
No.
Okay.
So that's the first.
All naira. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now basically this 231 million was redominated in naira. And what was the figure? At what rate? Because you see, the problem we're having here right now, apart from the fact that they've gotten those loans, if they're meant to purchase infrastructure from foreign nations, companies, this loan they have given them and redominated in naira, we need to know the rate, because they are going to have to source foreign exchange at this rate, because no bank is going to give anybody foreign exchange at any rate that is lower than what the market forces are saying right now. I'm clear on what I'm saying. So in actual fact, that $231 million, at what rate was it converted? Because if you converted it at, say, 305, and they are meant to now get infrastructure, and you're looking at a rate of almost 1,000, that means these loans are already failed. They're bad loans already. So I need a clarification on what amount in naira did this $231 million come to, and what rate was it? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Can you, if you, I'll want permission to give me 5 minutes. I'm not too sure. It's 7:35, but I'm not too sure. I want to be 100% sure before I give you feedback on that. In 5 minutes time, I will respond to that.
Okay, yeah, so you tell us at what rate the conversion was done,
yes,
and on what date that happened.
Yes.
Okay, you need like 5 minutes to be able to do that. Is there any other of the issues you want to respond to? I have a few questions to ask too. Okay, thank you very much. You said at the beginning of this transaction, there was an arrangement to have a special forex intervention for the project. There was an arrangement. Was that arrangement as a result of a presidential directive, a CBN policy, or just an understanding when the project was being conceived that there was going to be a special forex intervention for the project?
Can you come again, sir? I was looking at my phone.
You said at the conception of the project, there was an arrangement to have a special forex intervention.
Okay.
So I said that forex intervention then, was it as a result of a presidential directive or a policy or just the practice or an understanding at the project monitoring level?
Sorry, sir, there was no, Mr. Chairman, sorry, there was no actually any document on that. It was an agreement between the Minister of Finance then and I think the then CBN Governor, Minister of Power, during the meeting held in commemoration of this.
That there was going to be a special forex intervention for the project?
Yes, yes, but there was no any policy document or...
But there was an agreement to that effect?
There was an understanding between them.
You said agreement earlier. Which one should I take? An agreement or an understanding? Which one should I pick?
Sorry, when I wrote my word, when I say agreement, there was no document, so it's an understanding there. Not agreement necessarily with documents, sir. I'm sorry about that.
And that was as at what month of the year? At what month of the year? At what time in the project implementation?
Sir, like what you said, during one of the meetings of the power sector working group, there was this understanding that if the I don't know the months.
But go ahead, go ahead.
So there was this understanding that if there's availability of forex, that the banks will be encouraged to provide forex, but later.
That is CBN.
But not CBN. It was not CBN. There was never.
It is CBN that does forex intervention. You said there's a special forex intervention. Was that supposed to be done by the commercial banks?
There was never a time there was the special intervention.
Now, then you are contradicting yourselves. You said in your excuse me, please. You said in your presentation that in the conceptualization of agreement that it will be funded through a special forex intervention. That is maybe the offshore component of the loan would have been funded through a special forex intervention. But now it's like you are reversing that statement.
Can I, sorry, sir, Mr. Chairman, can I refer to the first document I wanted to read? Which
you can, if it answers the question.
Can I refer to the documents again, sir?
Yeah, if it answers the question, you can.
Yes. February 2022, Presidential Sector Working Group directs that the FX inflows to the power sector through the World Bank PSRO financing be in France for the use to provide FX, especially for the execution of critical power sector projects, inclusive of the CSDS projects, to address the challenge of access to FX to fulfill offshore transactions. And permit me to add, sir, some of these questions, we are just using our knowledge, but basically we are not party to it. I wish NRC and TCN were here.
No. This one is directly within your purview. Special forex intervention will be 100% within your purview. This has nothing to do with TCN, with anybody. This document you just referenced,
yes, sir,
is which document? Is that a minute of a meeting? Is that a policy document?
No, it's
or a memo, yeah?
It's a working document we got from the file which we've been working with. That's why I was saying, sir.
Okay, can you avail us a copy of this document, please?
Okay, yes, sir. We can avail.
Yes, Secretary, please get a copy of this document.
Because it shows the breakdown and month of everything we've been saying here.
No, let's have a copy of this document.